Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, powered by the Difference Media LLC,
and hosted by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, and also sponsored by Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Megan Schaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank N.A.,
and by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Gleneagles in Plano and Castle Hills locations.
The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It is 11:32 on a crisp fall morning. What a beautiful day it is today. Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host, Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances and helping you to properly protect your income. At the Enfuego Group, we're not just about financial freedom, but we're passionate about empowering aspiring entrepreneurs to break free from corporate America. I invite you to join our mission to ignite the fire for freedom and help you to live life on fire. Let's get to it today. We've got a brand new month, which means a brand new topic for November: behavioral branding, building brands through actions and culture. We will dive into that theme in our second segment. And it's so important because at the end of the day, our behavioral brand, our actions, the culture that we create around us is ultimately what builds trust with not only with our community, but with our customers and the strategic partners that we work with. And so I can't wait to get into this topic this month. We've only got 3 shows this month. Obviously, we're not going to do a show. We've got a special show that we're going to play for you that we'll record before Thanksgiving. It'll play on Thanksgiving, but we're going to be with our families, and hopefully you will be as well. So we've got a lot to get into 3 shows this month. And to help me do that, to kick us off, I want to introduce our co-host today with PBJ Mortgage, 20 years in the lending experience, a Texas native, is dedicated to simplifying the mortgage process through empathy and education. She makes homeownership as easy as making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She and her team strive to demystify mortgages, providing clients with clear guidance and support. With PBJ Mortgage, please welcome Jax Crider.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
What do you have going on? What are you most excited about these days?
Oh man. Well, this morning I did an awesome reverse mortgage class for some great kind of retirement more community. And that was really a cool experience. And I'm excited for our brand new topic because it's definitely something that is near and dear to my heart. So I can't wait.
What are you excited about? Anything? I know you're going to share some things in our What's Up segment, but anything going on in Plano that you're excited to be a part of coming up this week or in the holiday season as we transition into the Thanksgiving and Christmas season, even though that might upset some people, but I'm sorry, it's still Christmas season.
I know. Well, we're pretty much there. I mean, all the Christmas stuff I feel like is out everywhere, and it's crazy, but it's awesome. And I just think that Plano does such a great job this time of year with holiday type, even if it's just decor downtown and kind of bringing the community together. And I love that. There's always something fun going on, at the oh gosh, I can't even think about the Plano Community Center right there, kind of on the east side. And so there's just a lot of fun things that they do. Neath the Wreath, I don't know if you've ever done that, but that is one of my most favorite things around this time of year, just because I like local artisans. So there's all kinds of fun things, but yeah. And I mean, this week we're going to have again on our police officer. So I'm excited to hear what he's got to say too.
Wonderful. Well, let's bring in our guest today with Riman Clean KBeauty Skincare. Amanda McMaster, a Texas Tech alum and McKinney resident, has over 9 years of experience in network marketing, specializing in skincare solutions with Riman Beauty. Known for her sales expertise and leadership, she connects clients with med spas with science-backed skincare that delivers fast, effective results. Her commitment to skin health is inspired by her personal health journey, and she loves helping others achieve lasting skincare success. Please welcome Amanda McMaster. McMaster, I say. Said McMaster.
McMaster, yeah, it's all right. Hey, good morning.
My face is really tiny in this circle.
We got a tight. There we go. There we go.
There we are. Wonderful. Well, Amanda, how are you doing this morning?
Doing well. Enjoying the cooler weather for sure.
It was gorgeous. We had a fire last night outside in our fire pit, which is great. And this morning it actually felt like fall. So that was wonderful.
I was going to say, we're not at 90 degrees anymore. So I'm thankful for that.
Thank goodness.
I know. Yeah. Planning on going on a walk later. It's gorgeous out.
Well, talk to me. What are you most excited about coming up in Plano or in your business or just, as we transition into the holiday season?
Yeah, loving Q4 and the holidays, Black Friday sales coming up, the holidays, and just finishing the year strong. So the company I'm with is new to North America, so there's lots of opportunities, opportunities to share with people going into the holidays and starting the new year strong.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, we've got a few minutes. Speaking of our dear police officer friend, Sergeant Babb, that's part of the show, let's bring him in real quick and just give him kind of a pre-welcome. He's going to be joining us in our next segment. But Sergeant Babb, thank you again for being on the show. We've certainly developed a friendship with you, and the resources and information that you provided have been fantastic. We look forward to hearing a couple more of those things coming up here after the break. But same question to you. What are you excited about? Don't give away what you're talking about in the next segment, but just in general, what are you excited about this time of year in Plano that's going on, and what do you have coming up that you're looking forward to?
So we've got some great events coming up that I'll cover in the What's Up Plano segment. But we have broken a new barrier here at Plano Police Department where they're actually allowing us to have beards now. So I'm going to be calling upon Nathan to help me out with beard care products. Maybe Amanda can develop us something to really bring it in nicely.
Yeah, there's a lot of genetics at play there, but then you do have to take care of it. So I could probably use a couple of extra products myself. So
are you guys going to be doing No Shave November since we're in the month?
No, it started on the 1st, but it's actually we call it a special order. It runs for a year. It's I guess a trial period.
To see if they're okay with it.
Yeah, make sure that people don't get too crazy with it.
Don't get out of control. Yeah.
But boy, I got a lot of gray already.
So you don't want like a Santa Claus beard, but just something like I have is okay, apparently.
It's well, I'm probably going to look more like a skunk because I've got this big gray patch right down my chin, and the rest of it's a little more brown.
Well, this part right here, you can see is a little lighter too. I don't know why, but that's just kind of how it is. So, well, very good. Well, we're going to go to commercial break. We always want to give love to our sponsors. When we come back, we'll jump into our What's Up Plano segment. So stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference.
The Community Difference Plano is made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Schaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. And by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
What's Up Plano, brought to you by Love and War in Texas. Get ready to experience the true heart of Texas at Love and War in Texas in Plano. Savor authentic Texas cuisine, from barbecue and wild game to Gulf seafood. all while enjoying live music from some of the best Texas artists. So whether you're craving a taste of the Lone Star State or looking for a fun night out, this iconic spot has it all. Visit Love and Warren, Texas, and discover why it's the perfect blend of flavor and spirit. Speaking of, we've got our Community Difference Business Development Alliance of Plano coming up on the third Thursday at Love and Warren, Texas. If you want to pop that up, this says fourth Thursday. That's normally the day, but for this month, because we aren't going to meet on Thanksgiving, obviously, we're meeting on the third Thursday. So make sure you come out, see us. We're going to talk, just do a little bit of business development alliance. We're finishing a book called The Entrepreneurial Difference. If it's your first time there, it does not matter. You're still going to get some great nuggets. You're going to be able to talk about some of the things that are going to help your business grow. We're going to follow that up with happy hour as well. As we transition into the new year, I want to bring in Lyndon for just a second to talk about what the Business Development Alliance is going to look like. Because as you guys know, obviously, we had an election last night. Maybe some of you are happy, maybe some of you aren't. I don't know. We're not here to tell you how to feel. But it reminds me that the elections that matter most are the ones that are closest to our communities, our school board, our city council, mayor, right? The people that affect our taxes, that affect what our kids are being taught. And so as business owners, we want to make sure that we have everything in place to build the right relationships with those folks, to make sure that what we want to see as business owners is actually happening. And so I'm going to turn it over to Lyndon to talk about how the Business Development Alliance is going to help grow those relationships in 2025.
Thank you, Nathan. I'm really excited about the Business Development Alliance. It's something that kind of got on my heart back during COVID when many of our local businesses were deemed non-essential, and it really left them in a hardship. And so one of the things that I feel like that's very important for us as small business owners is to form a coalition together, to have a voice of what is good for us and what is not bad, what is bad for us within our community, and then figure out how we can help make those changes so that it benefits the residents of the community. We all talk about hire local, shop local, buy local. And sometimes they don't do that because we, as small business owners, charge a little bit more because we don't have the buying power or whatever that some of the larger corporations do. And, we're not here to bash larger corporations, but it's just that we want to, if we're not so regulated as small business owners, sometimes we can find ourselves in a more affordable market. And that then is passed along to our community. So the community difference is about united community. It's about uniting the residents with the small business owners, uniting the small business owners and residents with the leadership. That's why we have Sergeant Babb on. We're so happy that they've become a partner of ours, and it can share some of the most important things that are going on in Plano. So our goal in 2025 is to have what we're going to consider something like a networking event where small business owners come together, we get to know each other, we share our struggles, we share our successes. But at the same time, we want to be able to invite in some of the influence makers within our community, within our state, so that we can talk about the challenges of the small business owner and maybe where there can be some changes made that we all can see success and be able to pass those successes along to the residents that support our businesses.
Well, I love that. I look forward to that a lot because I think that's going to really take us to the next level as far as some opportunities. So a couple of things, if you want to throw this up, Lyndon, the Neath the Wreath, you mentioned this, Jax?
I did. I've been going to it since I was a little bitty kid. So the Junior League of Collin County puts it on like every single year. It is at the, it's right there at the Plano Event Center. So that's kind of on the east side of town for those of you who don't know. And it is such a great experience because there is tons and tons and tons of really great artisans that come in where you can buy things. It's awesome. And it's set the 7th through the 11th. So starting tomorrow and all the way through, I believe it's through Sunday. Through Monday. So this is a great opportunity to go check it out. It's 29th annual.
Well, go ahead and thank you, Jack. Introduce Sergeant Babb, if you would, please.
Yes, absolutely. So Sergeant Babb, like Lyndon said, he is here on our Plano Police force, and we've got one of the best the best Plano police support, well, the best police forces, right? And of all the areas, they do a really, really great job of protecting us and keeping us safe and keeping crime down and all that kind of good stuff. And so we appreciate so much that he is continued coming on every month and letting us know what the police department has going on, as well as how we can get involved as a community. Super important to be involved, guys, with your local departments like police and fire and all that kind of good stuff. So Sergeant Babb, tell us what the police department's got going on and how the community can get involved.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you again for having me. It's so important to stress that Plano is one of the safest cities in America. And the reason that we are so safe is because we have a great relationship with our citizens. We couldn't do it without you. So I think that cannot be stated enough. First of all, on Saturday, we have a senior community resource event at the Sam Johnson Senior Center on 16th Street from 8 to noon. We also have the Flags of Honor Touch a Truck Safety Fair, all rolled into one down at Oak Point Park. So after you leave Neath the Wreath, we're right down the street on Spring Creek there from the Plano Center. Also, we have another craze coming up on December 4th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Davis Library here on Independence, which is where we are housed. We would love to have you come out. I know Diane came out for our September craze presentation. And one of the things I did want to touch on, because you guys were so kind to advertise the drug take back that we had, we collected over 1,700 pounds of drugs to send back to the DEA to be destroyed. So those are drugs that are not going to wind up in your water system. They're not going to wind up in the wrong hands. So they have been destroyed. So thank you, Plano, for coming out and, and giving us your drugs.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
right.
awesome.
Well, can you explain what is the craze event like for those people who maybe don't know what that is?
Yes, so CRACE is civilian response to active shooter events. So that is for you to understand, one, what you're going to go through in a high stress event. It doesn't necessarily have to be an active shooter or active attack, but it will help you generally in other walks of life for knowing things like, hey, where are my exits? That's going to help you not only if there were an active attack, but also if there were a fire. Do I know how to stop the bleed? We have a connection in there to get you to an online Stop the Bleed class, because one of the things that can cause an unnecessary death is untreated bleeding. And those are the things that can be terribly important. But if you can spare 2 hours to come be with us, we would love to walk you through that and help you to be more prepared, not just for that particular incident, but for other incidents that may arise as you are out in your community. And we want to be a part of that. We want to train up our citizenry to keep themselves safe and make it through an incident if they unfortunately find themselves in one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely agree. Any holiday tips for us on how to stay safe? Make sure you guys don't have to be involved in our holiday extravaganzas.
Well, I'm going to package that one because I've got somebody special coming up for you in December that's going to have some great holiday tips for you guys.
Wonderful. All right. Teaser, guys. So guess what? I guess you're going to have to listen next month and see what the Plano Police Department has to say about holiday tips.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about that. I'm like, here's Sergeant Babb, and he's got the teaser, and he's packaging that. And I mean, this guy's a pro, man. He's got it all down.
He is. That's why he's part of the Plano Police Department, right? Best city.
I don't know that I'm a pro, but I play one on TV.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, thank you guys very much. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to jump into our topic for today. So stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference Plano.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
Welcome back to go through our topic today, behavioral branding, building brands through action and culture. I'm going to turn it over to Lyndon, who is the godfather of the difference and really the creator of these topics that are so beneficial with his many years in business development, a lot of times in the real estate market, but through helping many businesses succeed. So he's really got a grasp on what we want to talk about. So I'm going to let him lead this conversation as we go through.
All right. Well, thank you, Nathan. As Jack said earlier, behavioral branding for me is one of the most important things, I think, and most overlooked things within the strategies that we all put together to grow our business. And I know that, over the 30 years of being a business development strategist and teaching and coaching, one of the things that I see is I see a lot of businesses that focus on behavioral branding when it comes to themselves and the client, right? We dress our best, and we put our A game on when we're talking to prospects, when we're talking to clients, and as we should. But sometimes we don't necessarily do that in our business to business relationships. And I think some people don't understand why they struggle with building those brand ambassadors that we really need to go beyond, and if you listen to any other shows, to go beyond referrals. So I want to talk about that today. First, let's just find out what, Amanda, I'll go with you first, and then Jax, what is your definition of behavioral branding?
Yeah, I think it's, I think at the root of it is your values, being value driven, because you're going to show up, your actions and the way that you are choosing to interact with people is just a reflection of what you believe as a business owner, what you prioritize. So really behavioral branding is how you show up outwardly, but also it all starts with your personal values, priorities, and integrity.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that sometimes, that's really why you can't get away from behavioral branding, right? You can't get away from it. You're going to brand yourself one way or the other. And the way you brand yourself, and this is what we miss, it's not just about branding, it's who you're attracting. Because you're going to attract the people to you when you're demonstrating the things that are important to you, and you're going to repel the people when you're demonstrating things that may not be important to you, but it's important to them. And so I think sometimes when we look around and we go, why is my circle not this way? Why is it not elevating? Why does it grow? Why does it not grow? There's a lot of unanswered questions, and we can go back and just kind of look at those core values. And it's really simple to see when you look at it from that perspective. There's a natural attraction to people that share the things that are important to us, right? Those are values. And so when there may be a group of people we're trying to attract and we're not getting that traction, we're not getting that reciprocation, sometimes we have to look at our behavioral branding going, what is it that I'm doing that's turning them off? Jax, what do you think? What's your definition?
I mean, I was going to be a little bit along the same lines as Amanda, like kind of that's the old adage of how you do one thing is how you do everything, sort of how you're constantly showing up and facing up. I mean, it's why I naturally don't really wear a lot of makeup, and I just do it to be authentic, because that is me all the way across the board. Like how I'm going to show up, being on time, things like that. I mean, that is exactly for me, behavioral branding. Like, the person that you are behind closed doors is the person that you are to the public, is who you are in business. That person is one and the same, because to Amanda's point, your value system is going to run that full course. And you're right, it's going to attract or detract. And a lot of people think that's a negative thing, but actually in my mind, it's a positive thing. I want to attract the people who, when they see me, because I joke all the time that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm not. But I really want to be the cup of tea for the people who want to associate with me, right? And my behavioral branding is going to either attract or detract that, which is exactly what I want. And I want it to be positive, right? That's why I need to show up, and my behavior needs to reflect that, not only in business, but in my personal life.
So would you both agree that sometimes there's an old coach that used to say you recruit your own problems? Now, he was talking about the players that he brought into his team, right? And sometimes we get so caught up in trying to be everything to everyone, and then we can't figure out why we're struggling with a group of people that they're so ungrateful, or we can't please them, and we're doing our very, very best, right? And so with both of what you just said, what I've observed over the years and what I've learned over the years and what I've been mentored over the years is that when you focus on being your true authentic self and you allow your core values to come out, there's a resonation that you get with people around you. And those people, if something goes wrong, and I can talk about this in mortgage because I was there at one point, if something goes wrong, and in mortgage it will, you get a lot more grace, right? You get a chance to develop that fix-it strategy, and people will respect how hard you work to serve them. If we do not share those same core values and our behaviors are misaligned, we will never be appreciated. We will struggle finding fulfillment in serving a particular person, because it's oil and water, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it's so interesting to me, actually, in my opinion, the power of social media, and we've kind of talked about that over the course of some of our other podcast months, but the power of it is the ability for it to be the filter, right? For you to be able to show your branding, right? That behavioral branding in, like, right there for all the world to see, so that you can attract the people that are your people, and the people that are not your people, that you can put at the stop sign up and be like, hey, maybe I'm not your guy or your gal. Like, and that's okay. Like, I don't have to be everything to everyone. I stand for my values. I want to make sure that I am showing up in the way that I want to show up.
It's funny you said that, because it's also a way that we can show those core values and our authenticity on a consistent basis, so that let's say you meet a salesperson for the first time and they're trying to build rapport with you, right? They're not going to show you their bad habits. They're not. And I get it. That's okay. But sometimes it's a challenge for that salesperson and you as the buyer, consumer, to gel, because there's still maybe some doubt and hesitation. Is this person real? And so, Jax, to your point, when you can show your personality and your authenticity consistently and frequently over social media, people can see you and get to know you. So when they meet you in person, they go, this is real. This is not a persona that she created. This is real. I've seen this for 2 years now, and she's just like she is. You ever watch those people that go, they meet an actor and they go, the actor's just as genuine as they are on TV. They're the same person. And then you see the other ones that go, oh, they're nothing like they are on that role, right? They're hideous or whatever. Maybe they're nicer. I don't know. But it does give us a huge advantage. There's never been a better time as an entrepreneur to be able to market ourselves. Since the since social media became part of our lives, right? Number one is it's cheap and easy, free in most cases. You can do it frequently. You got a great strategy, that's even better, but you let people get to know you. And if you've ever done sales before social media, there was a process you went through, right? Building rapport, creating the know, like, and trust factor. You still have to do those things, but you can now do them before you ever meet the person the very first time.
Well, and you can do them at scale. I mean, there's like, again, it's just like a giant filter. And I think behavioral branding is such a tie because it really allows people to be able to see and make decisions based off of your behavior, right? And it's standing for your brand, because more and more, like, that kind of corporate brand, like, here was the brand and here was you, and there was no overlap, that has more gone away with the fact that now Gen Z and the millennial generation are buying off of authenticity. That's what they seek. Like, they want that. They don't want to, like, just buy, like, because, oh, well, it's just like some major brand or whatever. I mean, that's where, remember all the conversations, and Amanda, you haven't maybe necessarily watched all the episodes of the show, but we talked a lot about, when like Tom's came out and they did like 1-to-1, like, and they were trying to tie some of those heavy giving back kind of things to show that, like, there was some authenticity. They were trying to help the community. They were trying to give back. I mean, in my mind, that's all behavioral branding.
Yeah, it forces you to show up in person and online as yourself. There's no faking it till you make it anymore. You have to be yourself, because people online, I built my previous business completely online, not in person. And people show up to your account and within seconds decide whether or not they like you, much less do they want to give you the time to decide if they want to trust you enough to buy what you're selling. And so whether it's online or in person, being yourself, because we've all experienced it as a consumer, as a watcher, is we hear someone talking and we immediately think, I like them. There's something about them. I like them. And you would almost go so far as to saying, I think I could trust them,
right,
just based on the fact that they're being honest and genuine, and you can tell they're not putting on a show.
100%. And I mean, think about this. So when you meet somebody in person, it's a one-shot deal, right? And depending on how well their memory is, there's going to be parts of that interaction that they forget. But what I love about social media and interaction on social media is you can have a library of interactions with other people. So if I see you for the very first time on this show, for instance, I can go back and I can watch now for 7-8 months, Jax, maybe longer. I can watch Jax interact with other people.
Absolutely.
And if she's not authentic, it's going to show inconsistencies, right? It's going to show valleys. So most people now are vetting people they want to do business with online. And you can have
Google searching them 100%.
100%. And so you can have the greatest website, a static website, all of that stuff is good. But there's nothing better than being able to get a good, fair judgment of your personality and how you interact with other people. And that creates that know, like, and trust factor. I have so many people tell me before, I don't want to get too far off track, but they talk about the know, like, and trust factor. And I said, how do you do that? How do you create that with someone you've never met? This is the first time you're going to trust that I'm a realtor. You're going to trust that I'm going to do my best. That's not trust. That's faith, right? You're having faith that I'm going to take care of you, but you don't know that yet. And there's no demonstration out there that could even prove it or substantiate that. So with social media, we're able to do that.
And I think that what you were talking about, honestly, it does tie back to behavioral branding, because think about the value addition piece. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, so there, like, I try to post a lot about, that you're more powerful than and like encouraging people to do things that are uncomfortable and hard for them, because the truth is that you don't realize how powerful you are. And I always am telling people, like, I believe in you, because it's the truth. Like, I firmly believe that everybody can achieve what they want to achieve, right? Well, when you are showing the value that you're adding to other people in that way, whether it's the community directly or online or whatever, a lady posted on my post. I have never met her in real life. To be honest, I don't even know how we're friends on Facebook. Maybe we interacted with some mutual friends. I don't know. And she was like, I really love how authentic, like she was commenting on my post. And I was like, wow, you just don't know who's like watching that value add that you're doing every day. You just don't know. And so you have to add value even when you don't think anyone is watching, because you don't know who's watching. And you also don't know whose lives you're touching by putting yourself out there. It's not fun. It's not easy necessarily. It's hard to be consistent, but it's just important.
Right. So let's talk about this. One of the things when I really started to understand behavioral branding, I was in a class and we were talking about core values, and the instructor said, tell me what your 5 best core values are. Well, some of us really had a hard time identifying that, right? It's not that you don't have them. We all have them. And that's what's so cool about behavioral branding is it's almost like it's magnetic. It just attracts. You don't really have to understand it for it to work. But trying to articulate it and define it was a challenge for all of us. And it was an exercise that he did on purpose. So as we're sitting there and we're struggling, he's like, what's important to you? Okay, all this. He helped us define it this way. Tell me 5 things that irritate you to death when you're doing business with someone else. That's easy to do, right? What annoys you about someone you're trying to work with or someone that's serving you? And so all of those are behaviors, and all of those really do tie into your core values. And so when we started putting the negative to it, we started to really be able to see the positive. So let's talk about some of those things. Let's talk about, let's go with y'all first. Give me 2 things. We won't go through all of them. Give me 2 things that annoy you, will turn you off and make you walk out a door and go to another business.
The first thing that popped in my head was poor communication or inconsistent communication, or it drives my husband nuts. He should be sharing on this segment because he's great at identifying bad business. But poor communication where you're going back and forth and all of a sudden they disappear. And it's like, I want to take advantage of your services. I want to work with you, and you're showing me your cards. I should not be, trusting you with my business. So that was the very first thing that popped in my head.
I think that's probably the one that stands out in everybody because it is really the most prominent, right? So I created a meme several years ago that being relational is how you treat somebody before, during, and after you get what you want, right? And part of that, and you can ask Jax, our core values for the difference is called CARE. It's an acronym, and it's communicate, be attentive, be responsive, and be engaged. And some people go, well, a lot of those are redundant. I'm like, not really. You can't have one without the other. They're all intertwined.
I was going to say they're
right?
interlinked, but they're not redundant.
Right.
Yeah.
The better you are at each one of them, the better you are at all of them. Kind of like what Jack says, how you do one thing is how you do all things. So I love that you said that, because communication, it's almost like some people are stellar communicators when there's an invoice to be passed along.
Attached to it, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh my God, they're
yeah.
your best friend. They're calling you. They're answering all the questions. But the minute you need something, you're like, did you change numbers? Where did you go? Do you work for the same company anymore? I mean, what happened? They just go MIA. So I love that one. What about you, Jax?
That's a really good question. I would say that the thing that probably drives me the most crazy is not just maybe being honest with me. Like, if you don't know the answer, that's fine. Just sort of let me know, hey, let me find the information for you. I mean, it sort of relates to communication as well, but it's just in the way that they're communicating to me, if that makes sense, right? Like, it doesn't matter to me. I just I'm coming to you as you being the expert. Show me that. And like I said, if you don't know every single thing, that's okay. So either give me another resource, tell me you're going to find out the answer, like however you're going to handle that, that's fine. But still let me know what that looks like. Because otherwise, why am I going to stick around, wait for you to say something?
Exactly. Well, and I think one of the things that we may take for granted is that communication is a learned skill. It's a high value skill as well. And one of the things that I went through 30 years ago when I was working at a corporation, one of the trainings that we did is we want to teach you how to deliver bad news. We want to teach you how to communicate bad news, because if you think you're never going to have any, you're wrong. There's going to be bad news.
100%.
Deliver it quick, deliver it clear, deliver it honest, but I've always called it a fix-it strategy. Here's the bad news. Here's how we're going to solve it. And
Absolutely.
For me, what's my experience is when I do that well, I have a client for life. That builds trust more than anything ever will. If everything goes perfect, you didn't build any trust. You really didn't. You built appreciation, but you may not have built trust. When they see things falling apart and you're able to comfort them and find a solution, and you put everything back together and you cross the goal line, who are they going to think is going to fight for them more than anybody else in any other circumstance for the rest of their life within the product you sell?
Yeah, it's such an
go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, just that whole category of admitting flaws or communicating problems or issues. Talk about just an expression of your values. It's like, do you care about the customer more, or do you care about saving your own butt in the situation, and saving face? When really exactly what you're saying is, when you admit the flaws, when you deal with the problems, you actually are building up that person's trust and belief in you.
Absolutely. And that's one of in our topics that we have. Accountability and ownership is one of those behavioral branding things. And, we're talking about that with a client right now, right? So we're serving the client, but I know that, and that's what I was going to say, Jax, in mortgage, there's a lot of people involved. You've got a realtor involved. You've got a
title,
processor,
underwriter, appraisal.
Yeah, I mean, there's
like
10
a
or
mini
15
circus
people
in the background.
And Jack, can you tell me if you've ever been through a situation where one of those people threw everybody under the bus?
It happens all the time. That's always the case. And in fairness, we always get put as the front runner, as the person who did something wrong, even if it wasn't us. And my promise to every person on the transaction is, look, everything may not go exactly according to plan, but I will let you know. I will keep you informed. If there is something that doesn't go correctly, I will not only let you know timely, but I will also tell you how we're going to fix it if it's fixable. And if it's not, I'll tell you why it's not fixable, right? Like, you'll know exactly where it is. And I tell people all the time when I train them, look, probably the best thing you could ever learn is kind firmness. Just be direct with people, tell them what the deal is with kindness. Right. And 90% of people are always going to be kind. They're going to be okay as long as you're accountable. You're telling them what the situation is. And the 10% that are going to be jerks, we're always going to be jerks. Didn't matter what you said to them. Didn't matter. Like, you can literally tell them, I'm giving you a new car. That goes back to the core
values, though, right? That goes back to our core values and what kind of synergy we have together. Because as I said before, if your core values are aligned and you respect each other, because of that, there's going to be some grace involved. But if your core values are not aligned and they really don't care, it's going to be hard for both sides to please either side. It really will. I think that's one of our biggest challenge. We've got a lot of other topics I want to get to as well. And some of these don't necessarily have anything to do with our customers. Sometimes it's just our business relationships, right?
Can we talk about my favorite? Learning. One of my core values is education for every brand I have, and I'm so big about it. It's probably why.
Let's talk about learning. But let's talk about why learning in a behavioral brand where there's awareness. Why is people watching you learn, be a student, and it be important for you to be informed? Why is that so important for a behavioral brand? How does that attract new clients, new business partners?
Well, if you're setting yourself out as the expert, right? Or that's what you should be for whatever field you're in, then you should never, ever stop learning. Not just about your field. You should be professionally developing or whatever, because it's going to make you not only a better person, but a better business owner and somebody that those people can trust more, right? Because they know you're on the forefront of all of the different aspects. You're going to give them the best possible information. They're not going to have to go source every little piece themselves, right? I mean, it's a true testament to what your brand is and what your brand stands for.
Well, don't you, as a lifelong learner and someone that is recognized as that person, right, that is going to find the answer, you know, Jax is going to find the answer. You automatically put yourself in a position as a resource, right? And you're also a safety net for anybody working with you, because most of them aren't going to know all the answers, and you may not know all the answers, but you know how to find them quickly, right? And so I think when you're looking at putting these partnerships together in whatever capacity, who would you want to partner with more than someone that is a lifelong learner that's going to have an answer for most problems and is going to have the ability to find that answer faster than anybody else if you run into that? That's high value. So that goes into the next one of consistent value addition, right? That's a behavioral brand. How do we add value above and beyond the service that we offer within, and I'm talking again, business to business, right? Not necessarily our clients, but most of us work within a coalition.
Right.
If we're going to be that, why do we network? That's what networking is about. It's about building a team. It's about building an army. It's about building a coalition. So if we work within that coalition and we're perceived to be the highest value person in that coalition, we're empowered, but we have a big responsibility as well. And what that's going to do is it's going to attract more people that want to be part of your coalition in creating those value adds. So besides learning, lifelong learning, what's another value add that we could offer our networking business to business relationship coalitions?
You have a thought, Amanda?
Oh, my mind is still going on the lifelong learning. I'm having to jump tracks here. I was just thinking with learning, I mean, learning in and of itself requires humility, right? On the person's part to admit they don't know everything. They don't, right? There's still, right, more to learn. I don't, even if you've had a certain level of success, still recognizing there's always room for growth, because I don't know everything. I know what I know, but there's also what I don't know. And so that's still where my mind was
I'm so glad you said that, because I really overlooked that part. So one of the things in behavioral branding is self-awareness, right?
True.
Absolutely.
If you're not self-aware, you're probably not going to be a lifelong learner, because at some point you're going to think you got it figured out.
Yeah, always knowing your strengths, but also knowing the holes that you have in your boat, right? Where is water leaking in? Whether it's your business or your personal self, your character, always knowing where you don't know. And like Jack said earlier, like being willing to say, I don't know that. Let me figure it out. Let me learn that. So 100% self-awareness, knowing yourself, knowing your business well enough to where you know what needs the attention at that time.
Would you both consider self-awareness as a core value, that as a valuable core value?
I probably wouldn't have thought of it, but I think I would say it is, because when you're interacting with someone who is not self-aware, that's one of those like things that you don't want to deal with. It's like they have no idea how they're coming across right now, right? And it's like, maybe I don't want to work with them. So yeah, probably like an unspoken value for sure.
So that's why, real quick, Jax, that's why I led into that, because one of our talking points here is strategic network and relationship management. And the question is, how do you determine which relationships are worth investing in? And so we need to have a laundry list of those core values, of those behavioral brands, so that we can partner with the people that we can serve and that will appreciate what we're bringing to the table, but also bring something to the table. And I think self-awareness, if we're not self-aware together in a project, there's going to be an issue somewhere.
100%. Well, I think that honestly, I don't know if you can even really be truly successful without being self-aware. I mean, look at like if you ever listen, like even some of the people that you would think, oh, I don't know how self-aware he is, like Grant Cardone, he talks a lot about like how he had to get aware that he had problems he didn't even know he had. Like that's why he partnered with somebody like Russell Brunson, who's like an expert marketer who could really help even blow up his brand more. Pete Vargas, who is all about how to communicate your message effectively on stage, right? Like it was the self-awareness that maybe I'm not perfect at this particular item. So how can I partner with somebody who is better at it than me to help level myself up? You don't do that without self-awareness. And that is what explodes your success. It's not, oh, I have a wonderful product, because I'm not trying to be rude here, but most products, if they've lasted any small amount of time, they're probably pretty good.
Yep.
Right? I mean, they exist for a reason, you know. They're not trash. But the problem is like if you're not leveling that stuff up, if you're not being self-aware and partnering with other people, you're not going to find the success you're looking for.
100%. And that goes back to when you look at all of these behaviors and the core values, they all start to tie in together. So we were talking about right at the beginning about accountability. If you're not self-aware, it's going to be really challenging for you to be accountable.
Absolutely.
And if you're not self-aware and you're not willing to be accountable, it's going to be hard for you to go out like Grant did with Russell Brunson and find someone that you trust enough and feel comfortable enough to tell you, dude, you got some holes in your game here, and we got to patch the hole in the boat, right, Amanda? Just like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good illustration, a hole in a boat. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that
water? You're gonna sink. You're taking on water, and if you don't address it, you're going under. Go ahead.
We're talking about self-awareness and accountability. Have you ever seen the meme where there's a boat and there's 4 guys in the boat and the boat is like tipping and the 2 guys at the end are like bailing out water and the other 2 guys are like, man, I'm glad I'm not down there, but they're still in the same sinking boat.
Yeah, I'm glad the hole is on their end and not my end.
Right, and you're like, wait a minute, but you're sinking.
We're all going down. We're all going down. Yeah.
All going down. All right, so we are about out of time on this. I'm going to look and see if there's one more. Here's one, and I think this is, we all would say, first of all, I'm going to preface this. None of us are perfect, right? We're going to have some off days. I think that behavioral branding, where we have to be self-aware, is some of the things I'm doing being consistently and habitually done, right? Am I late to a meeting? Okay, I was late to a meeting. I apologize. There was traffic. I planned for traffic. It was worse traffic than I planned for.
Exactly.
Okay, you get some grace. But if that person, every time you go meet with that person, you're late 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, that's a habit. That's
Absolutely.
a behavior. And so we have to give ourselves grace for not being perfect, but we have to be self-aware enough to understand, is this who I'm being perceived as? Right? It's not who I want to be, but is that who people are seeing me? And we can have a million reasons why we justify and validate some of our worst behaviors. But at the same time, people are going to start branding us based on those negative actions. So we'll talk about one real quick. That's punctuality, right? Why is that so important? I mean, it's obvious, but let's articulate it. Why is it so important?
My husband is a Marine, and he always says, if you're not early, you're late. Because that's just how they want to make sure that they show up. And I don't disagree. I mean, you know, I definitely have family members that are constantly and consistently late, and it just makes you not feel important or valued enough for them to show up on time. You know what I mean? Like, you knew how much time it was going to take to get there. You knew what it was going to look like, and you couldn't do it or whatever.
Right. Well, and you know, it goes to, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. That shows that you care. You respect their time. You're not the only person on their agenda today. They probably got 4 or 5 other appointments. And if you throw them behind, then they're behind. They're late to their next appointment, which then becomes a repeatable cycle for the rest of the day. And then if we're deciding, as we said before, developing those criteria who we're going to network with, if you're late to the meeting and you're consistently late to the meeting, are you going to be late in the development and the execution of the project that we're trying to work on, right? Is that going to throw me behind? And so I think those things are very important. I'm going to give you all a couple of last words on this, then we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Amanda a little bit about, go a little bit of a guest deep dive and talk a little bit about how you got started and where you are and what you love about it.
Great.
Any last words on behavioral branding before we go?
I just think that it's important for people to understand that as a small business owner, you know, a lot of times you're going to think that there's so much going on in your world and I can't do all of these things. I promise you can do them, and you can do them well. Again, it's just going to go back to your core values, and you should tune in to like what that looks like and project that forward. And that's going to start telling you how you are going to be. And I mean, make sure it's the positive things that you're projecting forward, right? And that you're thinking them through. Because you have the power to be able to do whatever you want in business, provided that you just are self-aware and are behaving in such a way that your branding is going to follow.
Right. And it shouldn't be that overwhelming. Most of us have more positive characteristics than we do the negative ones. And if you do feel overwhelmed, just remember it's like eating an elephant. You just do it one bite at a time. So we're going to hit a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to find out more about Miss Amanda. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
All right, we are back. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Also, the comments. We have several comments today. Diane Castle, Harvey Luzier. That's how he pronounces his name. Vanessa Cole. We've got Tommy Welch watching. Thank you, Tommy. Mina, who is also going to be part of our new Little Elm show that's going to be kicking off in January. Brian Poduska, who is the host of the Frisco Community Difference. Tracy Duff. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your comments. A lot of good comments in there. A lot of information they shared as well. So right now, excited to talk to Amanda about who she is, talk about her business, how she got into it, what her passion for doing it is, And for anybody watching, by the way, that is wondering where Nathan is, we had some technical difficulties. I am normally the producer. I have not hosted a show in a month of Sundays, and so I'm enjoying it. Hope I'm not too rusty, but appreciate the opportunity. This is a lot of fun. So Amanda, who is Amanda? What do you do? Why you love it?
Yeah, thanks so much. I didn't realize I'd have the spotlight to myself today as a guest. This is fun. Yeah, so I'm Amanda McMaster. I've been in network marketing and direct sales for a little over 9 years. My first company I was with was a health and wellness supplement company and had great success building an online business with an online network with that. And more recently, joined Riman, which is a Korean skincare company that just launched in North America. And so I love direct sales, and I think it's a brilliant business model. I'm kind of a self-taught businesswoman, and like we talked about learning, I've invested in myself a lot over the last 9 years to learn, because prior to this, my husband and I were missionaries.
Wow.
We served in Michigan, which is a mission field when you're from Texas. We served at a Bible school there. So that was my history, and we found ourselves back here in Texas. My husband, this is back in 2015, my husband got a job, and we were new homeowners, had 2 toddlers. So I was at home, and learning that I could, start an online business from home was the good news that we needed as a family. And so I jumped in and fell in love with the industry and what it does for both men and women, but a lot of women able to contribute to their family's income because of it. Having a good product to share with people and a good company behind you is what I love. So I love helping connect people to really good products, skincare products, but I also love giving women the opportunity to diversify their income, create residual income, and that's what I get excited about.
I love that.
And for those of you who don't know, I don't know if you know, Lyndon, but the Koreans don't play when it comes to skincare. Their regimens can be like 15 and 20 levels deep, like steps and plans. Like I remember looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so many steps.
Yeah, I can keep it. There are 2 type of people. I think there's skincare minimalists, and then there's skincare people like give me all the things to put on my face. And so I love helping connect people to a routine that's going to meet them where they're at.
So a question for you, a couple questions. One is you talked about being able to not just be an advocate for the product, but bring people in so that they can find their independence and create their own businesses, right? What I love about entrepreneurs, most entrepreneurs, is that fact, is that they have found freedom, right? They have found this lifestyle that they want to share with everyone. So it's not just about making money. It's not just about selling a product. And it's almost like, hey, I found this pathway and I want to share this pathway with you because it can change your life. Why is that? What does that make you feel so great about being able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I in my past have worked predominantly with stay-at-home moms, and so providing them with the flexibility of a business opportunity like this, a way to make money, but it's completely flexible. They can set their own hours, they can set their own goals, is very empowering for them when especially if a mom doesn't want to work outside of the home, if that's her choice, but also they feel the tension of the budget being tight. Yep. And so it's like delivering good news to people like, hey, this could work for you. And so, yeah, that's what's so exciting. more recently, I'm working with estheticians and med spas, and to be able to give them another avenue for income and residual income at that. Again, it's like giving them good news of like, hey, here's what's available for you. Here's some products that you can promote, and your customers can be happy with your services even when they're not in the building getting a service done, right? They can be at home using a product that you've shared with them that's really helping them.
That's awesome. So you talked earlier about being a lifelong learner and being self-taught. I too am pretty much a self-taught business person. I have reached the peaks and I've reached some really, really low valleys. And you know, you learn more in those low valleys a lot of times than you ever do in the peaks. So talk to me. I really want you to share in your learning, what is one thing that stands out more than anything else that you learned that you feel like has helped you be the most successful? And then in being self-taught, what's been the hardest part of teaching yourself and being able to grow your business?
Yeah. So I'm thinking two things, like the word investment keeps coming to my mind, that you have to invest time, first of all, because you can very easily just become focused on the growth of your business. But like John Maxwell says, the lid of the leader, right? You can only go as far as your personal leadership lid allows you to. And so recognizing you have to invest the time in yourself, whether it's small investments like books, podcasts, things like that, right? Low ticket investments. But then in the past few years, really putting my money where my mouth is and investing financially in business coaches, masterminds, things like that, and seeing how much greater the return on that investment was, because it was playing next level, right? It wasn't just at home personal development. Now I had someone else's eyes on my business and on me that could help me level up and elevate my self-concept. And then, like we were talking about earlier, elevate my self-concept so that my habits align with my future self, not just my present and past self. So yeah, as far as being a lifelong learner, really challenging yourself to invest big in that. And I think the return on the investment will be equally as big. But then as far as what I've learned, I think probably in the last few years, it's been kind of what I just talked about, of really working on my future self, how I'm knowing that in order to reach new goals, there has to become a newer version of myself all the time, creating those new habits so that I'm making different choices, and it's those different choices that are going to create the different results that I want. So, yeah.
We've got to take one more break. Before we do, Jax, do you have a question for Amanda? And we'll make that one. I hate to cut it short, but we'll make that one short. We'll hit our last one, and we're going to come back with what's the difference.
Yeah, no, of course. I was just gonna say, so what took you from being missionaries to here?
Yeah, we were with an organization. I mean, it's kind of a simple story. Is we were with an organization that over time we didn't align with their talking about values anymore, and so we just saw it was best for us to step away, come back home to Texas, and so yeah, my husband's in corporate America now. He's jealous of the flexibility I was talking about and freedom that I have. He tells me often he kind of wishes he was in my shoes, but yeah, that's why we're here now.
That's awesome.
Well, you got to teach him the business. He's got the perfect teacher right there. I
know. He actually enjoys being an employee. Just tell him what to do and he'll do it really well. And so he likes that.
There you go. There you go. Well, we're going to hit a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to go into our What's the Difference segment. We're only going to be able to go through one question today, But I'm looking forward to that. So everybody stick around. We'll be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
We are Cloud Staff, enabling remarkable growth for businesses everywhere with our pioneering enterprise-grade remote work solutions. We are on a mission to help business owners scale while reducing costs by matching you with an amazing staff, mobilizing your team, and helping manage business performance, making us the #1 workplace as remote work gets done. Connect with us to access the world's top talent and discover how we can enable remarkable growth for your business.
And now, back to the show.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, time for What's the Difference, where we ask each one of our co-hosts and our guests, which is 2 today, a question that is based around what's the difference. And we have a certain answer that we're looking for, but we want to see what their opinion is. So today's question, what's the difference? What's the difference between proactive problem solving and reactive problem solving? Who wants to go first?
I can jump in.
Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I mean, proactive problem solving is all about thinking ahead, anticipating the problems that you or your client or customer are going to face and solving for them ahead of time so that maybe you can avoid some bumps in the road. Maybe your client or customer can, whereas reactive is you're making decisions in the moment. You're solving things in the moment, probably after the fact that you probably should have. So yeah, thinking ahead and problem solving before you even face the problems.
Good answer.
How'd I do?
You did good. I'm gonna line that in a minute with what we have. Jax, what's yours? What's the difference?
I would say that reactive problem solving, I'll address that first, is what I like to call fire drill mentality. It means that you don't really have a great plan, and so everything becomes a fire drill. So you're just trying to do it on the fly. There is no real thinking ahead. Whereas like proactive, you have a structure in place, you know what your potential pitfalls are. If they happen, how are you going to pivot? How are you going to think about things? So maybe you don't have the entire problem solved, but you definitely know the pitfalls that you should be up against and how to handle them if they come about. Because Murphy's Law says that they will at some point.
They will. So here's the answer that we've given. Proactive problem solving means anticipating challenges and taking action to prevent them before they occur, while reactive problem management involves addressing issues only after they have arisen. Proactive leaders build trust by demonstrating foresight and a capacity to avoid crisis, whereas reactive leaders may come across as unprepared, inefficient, and handling issues. So I kind of give the example of proactive problem solving is when you have the fire drills before the fire ever happens. You know your exit strategies, you know where people are supposed to go, who's supposed to be there, your head counts when everybody gets outside. You have a process to handle things that you anticipate. And so I think that's really important. That is one of what I would consider, again, a behavioral brand as far as leadership goes, right? That's where you
100%.
build trust within. So, well, ladies, we are out of time, right on it right now. Amanda, thank you so much for being on today and sharing.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This was great.
Yeah, I appreciate your insights. It was all so good. Great conversation. I appreciate y'all tolerating me stepping in for Nathan. Like I said, I haven't done this in a while. Producing and hosting can be a challenge sometimes, but this is a lot of fun today. I guess a lot because of my co-host and my guest. And then
I was going to say the great news is, Amanda, is we didn't get told in the private chat to go deeper because he was right here forcing us to go deep.
You like that part.
Nice.
So yeah, okay, I get it. I'm in the middle of the conversation, so Jackson, no private chats today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate your feedback on the shows. Thanks for commenting. Please share the show with people in our community so that they know who we are and what we're doing. And until next Wednesday, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Schoffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. And by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training, at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.